Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and today's video is part 2 of making a watercolor mixing wheel. If you haven't seen part 1, I will link it above for you to check out first and then you can come back to this video. So I outlined all my lines with a Sakura Pigra Micron because it's a waterproof ink. Feel free to do that, you don't have to. Once I ink it, I give it a few minutes to dry and then I erase it again just to get rid of any pencil lines. I will be using my Mission Gold watercolors I put in this travel palette. I also using the water wells, so I have water in each of the side wells that I will use, one for clean water, one for dirty water. I'll be using my Kolinsky Sable travel brushes. This is the medium one in a size 8. It's one of my current favorite brushes. We will get started. I'm going to be using 2 different sets of primaries that I have laid out here in my palette. So you can use these color wheels to mix any type of red, yellow, and blue, or you could mix any 3 colors and see what kind of colors they get out of it if you are looking to do like minimal palettes. So let's start with the red at the very top. So this is a quinacridone rose out of my Mission Gold set. And you can also paint the upper part of the main triangle as well with your same red color. So the other red I have in this palette is a light red, which is the more earthy tone that I'm going to use on this color wheel down here. Almost like a rust color. You will see how this affects the color wheel when we finish. If you're doing only one circle at a time, I recommend waiting for each section to dry before doing the next, so that way there's no bleed through or you don't want the colors to bleed into each other. So this one looks pretty dry up here, so we're gonna move on to the yellow, and this is a yellow light. It's a very bright yellow. In the bottom chart, I'm going to be using a yellow ochre. Up top, I'm gonna be using a peacock blue, which is very bright as well. These primary colors up here in this top circle give a cyan, yellow, and magenta vibes. And in the bottom, I'm using a cobalt blue. So here is our primary colors, red, yellow, blue. These are 2 different kinds of red, yellow, and blue. So when we start doing our mixes, we're going to get different kinds of secondary and tertiary colors. So let's start with our orange color, which is gonna be a mix of this quinacridone rose and this yellow light. So we're gonna take some of our quinacridone rose and we're gonna rinse our brush because we don't want to muddy our colors. Wipe it off, get clean water, go into our yellow and get a mix. So that looks like a good orange right there. And we're also gonna paint this triangle here. Sometimes you might have to play with the colors in order to get a good ratio, which is okay. You might not get it the first time, but you can just keep adding some of each color until it's a mixture that you like. And now this section between the yellow and orange is gonna be a yellow orange. So we're just going to add even more yellow to this orange to get a nice in-between color. Color mixing takes a lot of practice to get good ratios. So if you practice making watercolor charts like this and wheels, then you'll become better at color mixing. And you can also use these as reference when you're making paintings and you're looking to get a certain color. So don't be afraid of failing or not making good charts or having uneven sections. It's all part of the learning process. So we still have enough paint here and we're gonna do a mix between the red and the orange to get a red orange. So all that takes is some of the red paint, and you'll need a little extra because we made this one a little yellow. Okay, and there's our reddish orange color. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same section, but down here with these 2 colors. So we used a yellow ochre. We're gonna rinse our brush, and a light red, which is really powerful, so you don't want too much. And we're trying to get an orange color from these two. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So this is our orange color, which is muted, but it's because the two colors we are mixing are also muted. And because it's the orange, we're also gonna do the triangle. So now we're going to do a yellow orange. So we're going to add a little more yellow into this. And you wanna be careful again by touching the sections if they aren't dry so that they don't mix too much. Mine looks like it's gonna do a little mixing right here. That's okay, you may want to have that effect. And next we're gonna do a reddish orange. So we have to add a little more red to this mixture. All right, let's move on to the purple up here, which is a mix of the Quin Rose and the Peacock Blue. So Quin Rose, rinse it. And that gives a lovely purple color. So now that we have our purple color, we're going to add a little bit of our Quin Rose to get the reddish purple. I'm gonna rinse my brush, and I'm going to grab some more of the Peacock Blue to get the bluish purple. So this bluish purple is a little darker because I kept mixing the pigments, so it's very saturated. This will lighten up a little as it dries. Now moving down to the second chart, we're gonna do the same thing with the light red and the cobalt blue. So I'm gonna grab some of the light red, rinse my brush, some of the cobalt blue. Now, you might be thinking, why did this color come out gray? Shouldn't this be purple? Well, I can tell you that the reason this color came out gray, or grayish brown, or almost a grayish green, is because this red over here is so orange, it's almost yellow. So orange is the complementary color of blue, meaning it neutralizes it, thus giving it a grayish color. And because it has so much yellow pigment in that color, and yellow and blue make green. So this is actually a grayish green color and not purple. So this is why color charts can be helpful, because I bet some of you didn't know that that was going to turn out that color. And if you're making a painting and accidentally mix those colors, you might not want that color. I'm going to mix a little more red into this mixture here, and that color makes it a brown. And the reason for that is because this was a grayish green mixture, and the complementary to red is green, and when you mix those colors, because they are opposites, you're going to get a brown. Now, because this is a brown, I don't want it to interfere with the blue and the grayish color, so I'm going to make a separate mixture for that. So I'm going to mix up the light red and the cobalt again in a separate well. And now I have that original mixture here. And because we're going to do the section in between the blue, I'm going to add slightly more cobalt to this one. And this color produces a nice dark turquoisey color, because again, this has some green in it. So the blue makes it a blue-green turquoise color. All right, so now we have to clean our palette. Okay, so back up to the top chart, we're going to do a yellow and blue make green. So we're going to get our light yellow, clean our brush, rinse it, and get some of our peacock blue. And you don't want a lot because the blue is very overpowering. And you mix those two and you get your green, which is a very vibrant green. Almost like a sap green because of how vibrant the yellow and the blue are. So now we're going to clean our brush and we're going to do a yellow green. So we're just going to add a hint of yellow to lighten up that green. So now we're going to add a hint of our peacock blue. I had to add a little more paint in there, we were running low. So then the blue and the green make this beautiful turquoise color. All right, and now your first watercolor chart is complete. And let's just finish up the bottom one down here. So we're gonna be mixing the cobalt blue and the yellow ochre. And these two produce a very dark green. Almost like a forest green or a hooker's green. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit more of yellow ochre. And this becomes like an olive green. We're going to rinse and we're going to add some more cobalt blue. All right, and then our bottom chart is finished. So here is our first watercolor chart with the more vibrant colors. And here is the second with more muted colors or desaturated earthy tones. So I hope you learned a lot in this video, and I hope you take this and go play with your colors and mixing them and see what kind of colors that you can produce. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.